Thank you, Ted. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Premier Wynne, a number of cabinet ministers that we have with us this evening, many mayors that Ted, of course, will introduce during the course of the evening. What a pleasure to see all of you here this evening. This is our 13th year having the Trillium Dinner here at LiUNA Station. And I see a lot of familiar faces, but I see a number of new faces as well. And Premier Wynne, it's amazing how quickly tickets sell when you have a majority government. And we'd like to take this moment to thank Andrea Horvath, of course, for calling the election. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been thrilled to be a part of this great event, supporting our Liberal leader, and this year is no exception. Kathleen Wynne was with us last year at the 2013 Trillium Dinner, and we were so impressed with her leadership and her ability to connect with people. And it wasn't just the 600, 700 of us in the room last year that she connected with. She is exceptional and has been able to connect with so many Ontarians that has culminated in this majority government. We're so pleased to have a leader of her caliber with us here this evening. My duty is only to welcome you on behalf of Joe Beattie and Joe Keys and myself this evening. We're going to try to keep the speeches at a minimum because, quite frankly, we're here to listen to our Premier and the message that she's going to give us. So please enjoy yourselves this evening. Relax, make yourselves at home, and enjoy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. It is lovely to be here with you all again. And good evening, everyone. Ani, bonsoir, bonjour. It's a pleasure to be here with you on the traditional territory of the Six Nations of the Grand River and the Mississaugas of the New Credit. And it's great to be back in Hamilton. I think I was just here a few days ago. I just keep coming back. And thank you, Joe Keys, for that. I have to use your last names because everybody's named Joe. So thank you, Joe Keys, for that introduction. And I do want to express my appreciation to LiUNA for hosting this evening's dinner again here at LiUNA Station, this beautiful, beautiful building. Thank you so much for doing this. And to the other Joes, to Joe Mancinelli and to Joe Beattie, thank you all. Thank you all for being those hardworking people that you are and for organizing this wonderful event and for your continued support. It's really humbling to be here for this event and to see so many people who have supported us and have helped us along the way. And thank you very much. And I know that Brother Richard McPhee, where is Brother Richard McPhee here? See, there he is. Nice to see you again. And I know he's going to be speaking, and thank you very much for being here. So this is a terrific turnout. As Ted has said, this is wonderful. Last year I made it to every single table. Looks like the tables are they stretch out farther this year. I'm going to do my best. I'll do my best to get to every table. I want to just talk for a minute to start about a trip that I made to Hamilton a few weeks ago. And I think coming on the day after Remembrance Day, I just want to refer back to it. It was a solemn visit. On October 23rd, I was at the John Weir Foot Armory, just a few blocks down the street from here. And I came to pay my respects to Corporal Nathan Cirillo of the Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders. The horrific act of violence that ended Corporal Cirillo's life shocked us all across the country, quite frankly. But for Hamilton, as you learned that the young reservist was one of your own, the pain was so much greater. But the love that came rushing from the people of this city was overwhelming. And I saw it that day when I was there. There were so many people at the Armory. And the way you rallied in support of his family was moving for people all over Ontario. And it was moving for people across the country. Yesterday, during Remembrance Day ceremonies across the country, the memory of Corporal Cirillo was honored along with all of our veterans who made the ultimate sacrifice. But we'll continue to honor Nathan by keeping him in our hearts, and I know you will, and by never forgetting the sacrifices of all who have served. But today and yesterday, Nathan was very much in our thoughts, so thank you very much. And I talked about that outpouring of love for him and his family that happened. And Hamilton really is like a big family. Through good times and bad, you pull together, and all of us here tonight, we're kind of a family as well. And being here with so many of you, I get a sense of just how big that family is and how long you have supported us and how long we have worked together. I look around the room at all of the talent, and it gives me a sense of what this great family is capable of, what we have built together already, and what we'll build together over the next 4 years. Liberals are builders. We build transit, schools, hospitals, and we build a better, more equitable society, one where everyone has the opportunity and the security that they need to thrive. And I'll just make a comment there that I hope you noticed when Ted was introducing Deb, he talked about her responsibility for poverty reduction first, and then he talked about her role as president of the Treasury Board. So that's not just Ted, that's the reason we're in this business. We're in this business because we believe that society can be fairer, and everything that we do is to that end. Hamilton's a city of builders too, and we know that. It's a place that has defined and redefined what we can accomplish together with hard work. And the Lister Block we've already mentioned tonight. The Lister Block comes to mind because it's just up the street, and it's a prime example of Hamilton's perseverance and LiUNA's role in building this community up, and it's just one of the reasons that I love to come here. I was also back on Saturday to honor 4 veterans of the Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders and to watch the Ticats game, or part of the Ticats game, with our MPP Eleanor McMahon and Hamilton's own Ted McMeekin. I was also back to visit the new stadium with Dylan Attack. Now, is Dylan here? Has Dylan arrived? You all know Dylan, though, right? You know Dylan Attack, who works with the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and I think he's going to arrive at some point, and I want to just now, while I'm here, to thank him for his support and his hard work. He's an unfailingly positive young man, and the Ticats in Hamilton are very lucky to have him. Now, the Ticats clearly love playing in their newly refurbished home, undefeated on their new field. That's a very good thing. Fantastic. Even if they did beat out the Argos, there you go. I'm the Premier of all of Ontario. I was cheering the Ticats on. As long as it's an Ontario team, I'm good. And of course, Ted's very excited about it. You've had a season's ticket for 44 years, is that right? 44 years. You're 50, aren't you? And he knows as well as anyone what those cold metal and wooden benches at Ivor Wynne felt like in the final quarter. And to clear things up, I'm no relation to Ivor Wynne, so just saying. Just not. I first met Ted in the 90s, and he was mayor of Flamborough, and we were both fighting against, as Joe commented, in those days, we were fighting against the government of the day. Our particular cause at that point was the amalgamation, the forced amalgamations, and we were taking our stand there. We didn't do so well on that front, but we found our stride later. And I learned then that we have a lot in common. Ted understands fundamentally how the different orders of government can and should work together and support each other. He understands that in government, just like in business and life, you need those relationships that are based on trust and mutual respect. And so as our Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, Ted's building partnerships that are critical to the government and to our economic plan. And many of you in this room, even tonight, have talked to me about the issues that Ted is dealing with. And so his passion for affordable housing is going to mean that he's going to have a very big impact. He already has, and I want to just thank you, Ted, for being a valued member of our team and a great champion for Hamilton. Thank you so much. So as we were watching the Ticats, I was watching with Ted, we got to thinking about the different sort of football that you'll see played on that field next summer, and Anyone who doesn't know that Hamilton is a soccer town was obviously nowhere near James Street North or Pier 8 during the World Cup, where thousands came out for TO 2015's broadcasts of the finals this summer. So just imagine the excitement here next summer when the Pan Am and Para-Pan Am Games bring some of the world's best players right to your backyard. It is really an exciting prospect. And then afterwards, the Games will leave behind an infrastructure legacy. When we planned the Games, we wanted to draw on all of our strengths and create the greatest benefit for the most people. So we spread events across the region. Communities from Hamilton to Niagara to Durham are sharing Milton too, where's Indira out there, are sharing in the legacy. And our economic plan is based on a similar kind of thinking. It's about supporting the strengths of each region and making sure that we're building Ontario up together for everyone, not picking certain winners and losers, but making sure that we spread our initiatives across the province. So just like the success of the Games needs Hamilton, the success of Ontario's economy needs Hamilton too. You play a vital role in our economy, and it's a role that's changed, and it continues to change. But that doesn't mean that it's not vital. Well before the global recession took hold, Hamilton started to transition away from a single employer town or a single industry economy. There's still a steel industry here, just as there's still auto in Windsor. But there is much more than that. And although the days of the tens of thousands of steel workers heading to the North End every day are past, the values that you built over those years remain, and that is what is critical. This is still Steel Town, the hammer. You've been challenged, your economy has changed, but you are the same strong, resilient, and talented people that you've always been. You did what Hamilton always does when faced with challenges. You adapted, focusing on your strengths, you diversified into advanced manufacturing, and you applied your strengths to become a leader in healthcare. Now your top employment sector. See folks from healthcare over here. And while it's still tough times for many, we know that, there are really strong signs that point to a bright future, signs of progress. And we know that getting there means government has to do its part. We get that. And fortunately for us, that is exactly what the people of Ontario asked of us in the spring election. They agreed with us that government can and must be a force for good in our lives. Not that government represents either the whole of the problem or the whole of the solution. That's what the other parties were saying. Either it was all one or the other. But that when we combine the tools of government with the strengths of our talented people, we can build more opportunity and more security for everyone. So I really believe that people chose us to lead and to govern because they're looking for meaningful and practical solutions. They actually care less about left and right than they do about moving forward. They don't want a government consumed by ideology. There's a rigidity in ideology. It's narrow and it's divisive. I think that people want what is practical. They want what's actually going to help them in their lives. Whether that's helping young people to prepare for the job market or whether it's helping workers prepare for retirement. We are in politics to help people. There's no other reason to be doing this. So with your help, that is exactly what we're doing, and I mean that. Without your help, we would not be here. We need strong trades in Ontario to attract more people to these good jobs, and that is what we are going to deliver. Another way that we're delivering more opportunities is in the skilled trades is by building modern infrastructure. And I know there are people in this room who have already said to me, thank you for the investments in infrastructure, keep them coming. There can never be too many investments in infrastructure. I get that. And it's such a key part of our plan. It's the second pillar of our economic plan, and we talked about it a lot during the election. It's so just a stone's throw from where we're sitting. Joe was talking about earlier, the new GO station is being built, and we're building new trains as well. It's part of our ambitious and necessary plan to transform the way that we move around this region. Jim Diodati has already said that he wants the GO train to Niagara. I heard you, Jim. That kind of connectivity is critical to our economic success. We get that. And as I said earlier, Liberals also build the security that people need in life. The Ontario Retirement Pension Plan is the the prime example of that we ran on. Even with the Canada Pension Plan, many of today's workers will struggle to afford the necessities of life in retirement. We know that. So we tried to bring about improvements in the Canada Pension Plan, but the Harper government kept abdicating its obligation to help Canadians prepare for retirement. And when it became clear that we couldn't wait any longer for leadership from Ottawa, we took progressive and forward-looking action on our own. So the Ontario Retirement Pension Plan is a direct reflection of the values that guide us and the strength of the relationship that we share with the people of Ontario. We're pursuing, yeah, that's right, it's a very good thing. We're pursuing it because people need it and want it. We listened and we acted, and it's as simple and it's as important as that, and it's the way we will govern. As Liberals, we're motivated by the desire to help people to achieve more in their lives. That is our motivation. It always will be our ambition. I've been all over this province, and I understand what some in the province are still going through, what some people in this city are still going through. I hear about the obstacles and the pitfalls that people face. I listen as they talk about their hopes and their dreams, their pride in their families, their confidence in a better tomorrow. And I'm always struck by their resilience, by their creativity, by their enthusiasm, and by their optimism. That's who the people of Ontario are. I know that they're up to any challenge. Ontario is up to any challenge. Hamilton is up to any challenge. And thanks to you, the Ontario Liberal Party is up to any challenge. Thank you for your support. Thank you for coming tonight and spending time with us. This is a big family, and big families need to stick together. Doesn't mean that there won't ever be an argument. You're all part of a family, and I'll bet that there's not a family member here who hasn't had an argument in their family. And Christmas is coming up, and there are always arguments at Christmas. It's a prime time of year for arguments. But that doesn't mean that we don't love each other and care about each other. So we're going to move forward together with pride and purpose. I will always want to engage with you on the problems and the challenges that are going to allow us to get to a better place. I think that when there is an issue, when there's a challenge, that is the exact moment that there's an opportunity to come up with the very best solution. That's how we're going to govern. Thank you so much. Merci. Miigwech.